I'm going live again. I actually just got off live. And the reason why I'm live once more is because the audio was bugging. I mean, I knew I had the fan on, but my God, good golly. It was quite something. It was quite something. So the perfectionist in me is like, yeah, we're gonna run it back. We're gonna do it one more time. We're gonna do it one more time. And depending on how this live goes, maybe I might upload both of them, maybe not. So we'll see. Maybe a different crowd will come to this live. We shall see. But basically, what I have been talking about in the first live was my newest design for Alaere lifestyle, the Oritsé shirt. Period. 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 And basically, with this shirt, it means supreme. You know what? Let me just. I did this in the first live. I'm gonna do it again. So I have been talking about what this word means and why it is important to integrate Afro-Indigenous culture into fashion. And I think it goes into like living life from a decolonized expression of divine feminine energy, divine feminine power. And so in Itsekiri, my paternal side of my identity, this is where my dad is from. Orisha is the name for the supreme deity and the creator of the world. The name carries the meaning, so this word means head creator or God, with the components Ori, head, and She, to create, forming the word. So this word also means God in the context of Itsekiri names, indicating a dependent or trust in God. So I already talked about this in the first live, which I guess I'll still make it public, even though the audio, gosh, nobody said anything in the comments. Nobody said anything. Y'all just have me out here talking as if y'all could hear. Well, I guess y'all could hear me. Otherwise, maybe y'all would have been like, girl, turn off the fan. But I want to talk more about my book in this live. So yeah, and hi y'all, thanks for joining. So my book, Force of Nature, is a poetry collection. Someone just asked my age. Guys, it is not polite to ask a lady her age. I'm old enough, okay? But I'm in my late 20s. How about that? So yeah, my book, I want to talk more about my book because I used to give lectures on Force of Nature, but I'm going to, someone said 62, just tell me your age. Oh, mayo. Okay, so I'm sorry, this chat is actually kind of taking me out. Why do you want to know my age so bad? I mean, why? Your body's so slim and so beautiful. LMAO. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, anyway, so the back of the book, this is what my book is about. And my editor did a really great job. Yeah, okay. I thought it was just me. I thought it was just me. Yeah, okay. So this chat kind of wild. Oh, Robinson Cranky. Your book is, but you on my live though. Thank you. You know, some people, they're fans and they just don't know how to help it. Okay, so anyways, my book says, what is divine feminine energy and how can we channel it? And this was written by my fabulous editor. She did a really great job. So, Force of Nature explores this question through the lens of an African woman grappling with childhood, womanhood, cultural identity, and the societal issues that disproportionately affect women. Thank you for saying my book is amazing. Mwah! God bless you. And also, I just want to also say, before I keep going, people who come for people who like send me negative energy, it transmutes and alchemizes into positivity because I'm divinely protected. And every energy sent my way will always return back to the sender 100-fold across their generations. And that's just the law in my life. So when you send me good, when you send me love, best believe it's going straight back to you, and I send it back. But if you send me hate, trust, the universe will deal with you, God will deal with you, and that's all I got to say on that. So now let me continue. This poetry collection parallels African woman to nature itself, forces that can neither be confined nor defined. In a world where African women are subjected to societal expectations and forced to sequester their complexities, Odemi Pessu, that's me, pushes back with love, light, and vulnerability. With lyrical lines, heartfelt verse, and tributes to social justice leaders, Pessu lets us into all elements of her life, from romance and depression to self-harm and overcoming colonialism. Yet through the trials and tribulations, she perseveres and relays the message that women must take ownership of their narratives. Hi to the newcomers, welcome. I'm just talking about my book here and reading the back description. Force of Nature captures not only the inspiring journey of one woman, but the collective experience of women fighting to honor their emotions, dreams, and agencies, authentically and unabashedly. So there's a few quotes from people on the back, but Dr. Patricia Agapusi, a professional lecturer at American University and author of Homegrown Development in Africa, Illusion or Reality, this is what she said about my book. She said, Pessu is the force of nature in the way she weaves elements, taking me on a spiritual journey of self-discovery and recovery. This is a must-read for those who feel lost, those who have it all together, and those questioning who they are. The second quote on the back is by Dap the Contract, a Nigerian musician, and he said, Force of Nature is a breath of fresh air, the blend of traditional ideologies with a refreshing outlook feels effortless. Pessu speaks with the authority of one who has lived in both times. Okay, let me check the chat. Hi, continue please. Thanks y'all. Oh, thank you for subbing, Cody. And someone said, is that your own book? Yes, this is my book. I published this actually during the pandemic back in 2021. So I published it with an indie publisher, and it's actually available Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Waterstones if you're in Europe, Booktopia if you're in Australia. Like, the book is doing global something. It's doing global things. It's doing global something. So that's why I gotta put some respect on my name. But thank you, thanks. You should check it out on Amazon, but you can also order a signed copy from my website, www.alaerelifestyle.com. So alaerelifestyle.com, that's my username.com. But yeah, so in this live, I want to just kind of go through like a very, very succinct overview of the table of contents, and then also read my author's note to y'all. But let me pull myself up. Let me come closer. And before I start, another quick plug. Don't forget to go to www.alaerelifestyle.com if you want to shop my wearable art. So this shirt, Oritsé, is an Itsekiri word that I explained the meaning in the beginning of the live, but I'll say it one more time. This is divine creator, supreme deity, and Itsekiri, and that is what you are, because the whole, everything about my book is really about African women, just honoring the fact that we are physical embodiments of God consciousness. So the table of contents, let's go through it, shall we? You can also order this on Kindle, so if you want to read along, I guess today's going to be that kind of video. So water is the first chapter, that which nourishes us. Someone said, what about boys? So actually, men have told me that they also get a lot of value from my book because it does talk about Afro-Indigenous expressions of divine feminine energy. But as people who have divine masculine and divine feminine energy in all of us, I think it doesn't hurt for men to also have an understanding of their connection to nature and how they can honor the essence of divine feminine energy in the world around us. Like that's something as simple as honoring, nature and like appreciating the spiritual elements and the spiritual presence innate in our natural environment. And I do think that in a patriarchal society, we do need more men that honor that. So I actually have some people on Amazon who are men who have left reviews if you want to check those out. So the first chapter is water, that which nourishes us. And the second chapter is thunder, that which shakes us. And the third chapter is fire, that which emboldens us. And the fourth chapter is soil, that which we grow from. And the fifth chapter is wind, that which carries us. And so I'm going to read y'all my author's note. And if you want to read along, like I said, you can easily get this on Kindle or Barnes & Noble Nook. It's Force of Nature by Odemi Pessu if you just joined. So, author's note, let's get into it. Also, hold on, I need some water. Okay, so reading my author's note for those of y'all who just joined from Force of Nature by Odemi Pessu. C'est moi. Je m'appelle Odemi. It is me. Okay, as a young girl, I was enamored by the stars. I would stay up reading, imagining myself as the characters in my favorite books, and looking up at the bright lights in Georgia's empty, rural sky. I would sit and scribble my dreams into my favorite composition book, silently wishing that my life could be different, easier, fuller. I saw my first shooting star a few months ago while writing this book, and I was amazed by the gratitude that washed over me. I was grateful for the chance to begin again, the opportunity for rebirth. This time, I was secure in my divinity and power. How funny it was for me to finally see a star fall out of the sky, just as I have finally realized all I've ever wanted is already mine. I think of my fondness for nature and the beauty of the wilderness that surrounds us. Sparrows fly unwittingly, seasons ebb and flow in divine timing. Fires rage while flowers bloom, and dandy shores welcome passionate sunsets, promising something familiar yet new. So let me pause real quick. Someone said, how did you make this book? I wrote a manuscript and submitted it to a publisher called New Degree Press. I wrote this back in 2020. Well, actually, honestly, a lot of the book is stuff from old books, like composition books I wrote poetry in. And yeah, but no, ChatGPT could never write my book, honey. Never. A robot could never understand what it means to be an African and Afro-Indigenous woman because the algorithms were made by white people. So yeah, this is all my personal experiences. But anyways, so as I was saying on page 11, part of my author's note, let's begin again. Welcome to those of y'all who just joined. Nothing is controlled, but everything is connected. We can learn so much about ourselves by paying attention to the subtle lessons from Mother Earth. She shows us that every aspect of our beings contributes to the beautiful ecosystem that is our mind. With her guidance, I have learned to embrace the enigmatic parts of myself and bask in life's beautifully crafted chaos. Our Earth never begs for permission to exist. She shows us every day what it means to be free, be it through tree stumps that join hands over time or the bright smile of the moon and her many phases. Our Earth reminds us that it is okay to change and it is okay to grow. But most importantly, it is our natural state to exist freely. That is when we thrive. So let's just take a breather. Let's take a pause because, yeah, I feel like, when I was writing this book, I was looking through a lot of what I had experienced in life, and I'm going to go into that later in my author's note, but it is quite long, so I don't want to just bulldoze through it without giving some context. But I do think that during the time when I was writing this book, I was also going through this process of decolonizing mind, body, and spirit, in the sense that there were so many beliefs and ideologies and dogmas that I feel like I was raised to believe and just never question. And I spent a lot of time learning about Taoism, learning about Afro-Indigenous spirituality, and it just made me realize, like, wow, there's just so much that connects us to each other and to the earth. So just wanted to give that context, and yeah, let's continue. So page 12 of Force of Nature. Hi, Fado. Thank you for joining the live. Okay, so I'm reading my author's note from my book, Force of Nature, and we're on page 12 here. If you want to join, you can download or purchase the book on Amazon Kindle or Barnes & Noble Nook, because if you were to order it, I guess it wouldn't get there in time. As such, it is a long-standing frustration of mine that African women globally are so often policed. Be it the way we wear our hair, or the way we choose to dress, or even the ways we mourn and cry, or express our feelings. African women are often forced to shrink ourselves for the comfort of others. African women often lean into a narrative of self-sacrifice because that is what we are taught. We are taught to cater to the needs of our parents before our own. We are taught to uplift our husbands and our children, even if it means burying ourselves prematurely. We are taught to view a life of second-class citizenship as one that is expected, not to be challenged. African women have built the backbones of society on the African continent, and it was our forced labor that catapulted Western societies to their supposed greatness. It is our wit and our wisdom that act as a stage and guide even outside of matriarchal structures. We are shoulders to cry on and bosoms to suck, but seldom are we given a listening ear. We are groomed to view happiness as a luxury instead of our God-given right. Okay, so let me pause real quick. So I'm just reading some of the comments. So it's Satin Baby. You're saying that you want to study about Africa. So school can be tough. So my school background, I studied international political economy in undergrad at Brown, and then I got my master's in public affairs, also at Brown University. So I totally understand, like, school can be tough, but I think something that helped me when I was learning about really difficult subject matter is just being able to find some type of passion and try to find elements of what you're studying that resonate with you in a deeper way. So for me, I really loved social studies, I loved history, I loved macroeconomics, because when I was in high school and middle school, the economy was trash. Like, you think it's trash now, like that 2008, it was horrible. And so I was like, okay, I'm caring about what's happening around me, so I want to learn more about, what's happening in the world, because I know that I can be a better citizen, I can be like a better business leader if I pay attention. So I hope that helps. And thank you for that compliment, kind sir. Or maybe you're a man. Or maybe you have no gender. Anyways, thank you. So Fado said, when I went to Africa, I was blown away by the sheer amount of languages being spoken. The average person speaks 4 to 5 languages. Yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think I said this in my live earlier today, or maybe in the beginning of this live, but even Nigeria itself has over 250 ethnic groups. So it's like, it's a very diverse country, Nigeria is, but also other countries in Africa. Like, I'm just saying Nigeria because I'm Nigerian, but like, Africa is so diverse, ecologically speaking, culturally speaking. And so even with my book, Force of Nature by Odemi Pessu, that's what I've been reading today. Like, I want all different people to be able to resonate with it. I only speak 2 languages, unfortunately. I really do want to learn my parents, both of their indigenous languages, so Itsekiri and Ijaw. Fado, I don't know if you are African, but I'm curious if you are. Share where you're from in the comments, and thanks for joining. Okay, so back to the book. We're reading from my book, Force of Nature by Odemi Pessu, if you're new here. We're on page 12. If you want to read along immediately, you can purchase this on Amazon Kindle or Barnes & Noble Nook. Okay, so we are groomed to view happiness as a luxury instead of our God-given right. But I am writing this lyrical manifesto as an ode to who we are in our entirety. We deserve happiness, and we deserve the freedom to define that happiness for ourselves. I am blessed to have grown up in a household filled with proud Nigerian women who taught me the value of tenacity and to take up space without chipping away at my own value. The steady flow of their love nourished my dreams and transformed my secret streams of consciousness into waves of action. I was precocious, enthralled by the idea of becoming someone who important people listened to. My parents did not raise me to view my blackness as a hindrance. They did not tell me that my femininity was something that would derail me on this path to greatness. No, they told me I was brilliant. They told me I was special. They told me I could be anything and everything I wanted in this life as long as I have faith in God. I believed them. How could I not? This self-assuredness manifested itself intensely during my teen years. I wanted so desperately to show my parents that their unwavering belief in me was not in vain. I wanted them to know that I was indeed brilliant and special. So I tried so hard to prove myself worthy of achieving my aspirations. Now, as I reflect on the prowess embedded in my Itsekiri and Ijaw lineage, how could I ever doubt that greatness lived in me? So I'm gonna pause real quick and check into the chat because I saw some people typing. You're from Afghanistan. Oh, that's so cool. Wait, I remember I read this book set in Afghanistan called The Kite Runner, just an aside. You know, English, Finland, and kind of Spanish, and just started Spanish. Okay, period. Wait, welcome. Like, that is so cool. That you're from Afghanistan. Do you still live there? I mean, if you don't mind me asking. Okay, someone, Fado said, I'm Puerto Rican and Russian, backpacked through Europe and crossed into Morocco from Philly. Okay, that's what's up. That's dope. Okay, I've been to Puerto Rico once. Super fun. I went to San Juan, but this was a long, long time ago. I'm Nigerian American. I'm based in Atlanta. I've been to Philly like one time. So, okay, we have a diverse group up in the chat, period. I hope y'all are enjoying the book. I mean, this is just the author's note, but I feel like reading the author's note, well, one, writing it was definitely a way to kind of like set the tone of the book and just like give context as to what is it about? Like, why are we even here? Why did I even write this? So page 13, continuing. My mother, my older sister, my aunties, and my older cousins are all Nigerian women who have shown me what it means to know my truth and what it means to advocate for myself when faced with adversity. My mother never ceases to remind me and my sisters that we are all uniquely crafted by God. During her infamous talks that still persist even in my big age, my mother would point to her hands and ask us to assess our 5 fingers. Upon doing so, she would ask us to think about what would happen if one of the fingers should disappear. Then she would transition to her closing point. All fingers are different, but these differences are needed to make the hand feel whole. Maybe some are short and stubby, or maybe one finger has a chipped nail that never seems to cooperate. Regardless of what sets the fingers apart, my mother would use this analogy to show us that our individuality is what makes us special. I always think back to this lesson when I question my own unique attributes. It reminds me to know that my existence is important and that I matter simply because I am who I am. However, owning this truth has not been a walk in the park. It has been a restless tornado, spinning me through not only bouts of trauma and sadness, but also joy and triumph. I left home at 17 and journeyed in search of a place where I could truly shine. In some ways, I think I was searching for an external sense of the belonging and celebration I felt in the safe spaces I created in my mind. I was chasing something that I struggled to define, a sense of fulfillment that seemed to evade me the more I sought after it. In turn, I ran to the ivory towers of Brown University and corporate America. I learned about my history and what it means for a woman to decolonize her mind in the face of racism and discrimination. I learned about the power of respecting my past so I could welcome a brighter future. I lived in Amsterdam and learned the true meaning of community across borders as I formed new bonds with sisters who knew my soul before our faces could meet. I waitressed at a strip club during my master's program at an Ivy League university and learned that life is not black and white. And it is not my duty to make anyone comfortable with the colors I chose to paint my own canvas. I reckoned with childhood trauma and began to map out ways to escape the intergenerational labyrinths of pain so I could cultivate gardens of new hope and healing. And I found my agency in the freedom to choose who I could become and to learn the lessons I was intended to learn, perhaps so I could share them with others. Okay, so that was a lot, so almost done with the author's note, but just wanted to check into the chat. So I'm reading the chat. It's Satin Baby. Don't be skipping school. Don't be skipping school. Yeah, you gotta stay in school. School is so important. You gotta go even when you don't feel like it, because the literacy rates are falling. They are plummeting. And I mean, I'm really happy you're here in this chat because I feel like there's so many things I would not have been able to accomplish if I did not show up in school. Like if I did not, try my best in school, I wouldn't have gotten a full ride to an Ivy League university. If I didn't show up in school, I would not be, running my business for the last 3 years. So like school, I know a lot of people say, oh, you don't need school to get a job. You don't need school to get a job. But if you're here in my community, you're a leader, okay? Like you're a leader. And that's why you are spending time here with other leaders on a Saturday afternoon. And leaders show up to their commitments. So I'm rooting for you. I am. Not to go too auntie on you, but like, you need to go to school. Don't be skipping. Okay, so let's see. Where do we stop? Page 15. Force of Nature by Odemi Pessu. C'est moi, je m'appelle Odemi. That is me. This is my book. I'm reading my author's note if you just joined. And we are on page 15. So I'm going to resume, but take some water before I do. Welcome to those of you who just joined the chat. Very happy to have you here. All right, so, okay. Much like the seasons that God intends, my own story has come full circle. I have risen from the ashes, emboldened to continue my fight. I have grown from grounds of discontent into soft petals carried by serendipitous winds. The poems in this body of work were not all written at once. They are snippets and snapshots of different phases in my life. They are pieces of my heart, bare and open for the world to see on my own terms. I held onto my words for so long because I was scared of what people would say, what they would think. Yet, as quarantine brought me to a still place, and coincidentally, when I began taking this book writing endeavor seriously, I noticed a shift in my energy. I was back home surrounded by trees and surrounded by love. I was looking to God for answers about anything and everything because I was forced to make time to actually listen to the answers that came. As I took time to listen to the soft whispers of the universe, my epiphany came. The reason our souls find solace in the wilderness, the reason Jesus went to the mountain to pray, and the reason the land blesses us with food and nourishment when we harvest her with kind hands is because when we truly pause to see ourselves as clay, beautifully molded with love by God, that is when we walk in our power. And when I stopped being ashamed and afraid of the visions, words, and artistry that God shared with me in my quiet time, my soul levitated. I felt like I had walked right into the eye of the tornado, forced to observe everything swirling around me. I was forced to feel it all: the isolation, the longings for freedom, the frustrations with the oppression and silencing of Black women in public and intimate realms. Ultimately, I was forced to be patient with myself, to realize there is no rush and there is no perfect finish line to cross. I had to find comfort in showing myself unparalleled compassion and trust that I would reconcile my emotions in due time. So, as you read Force of Nature, please know that in the eye of the storm, you are strength. In your scariest moments of vulnerability, where you are worried your words will fail you, start with a whisper and don't be surprised when it becomes a roar. I hope my poems serve as a manifesto, an ode to our juxtaposed existences. We are the softness of clouds and the harsh pinches of lightning, the old soul of a willow's bark and the blinding beauty of the sun, teardrops of tired clouds and the stillness of calm seas. We are so much and have even more to offer, but I think it's time we do it on our own terms. This is my love letter to who we are and all that we have the power to become. It is my hope that you will see your own truth reflected in my words. I hope glimpses of my story will empower you to write your own and take your life by storm. I hope you find the courage to be open to love and its pitfalls, and to be open to learning from the stories of your elders and even those who view the world through rosy lenses of youth. I pray you look in the mirror after reading this book and recognize yourself for who you truly are. May your love for yourself blossom like sunflowers in a wild field, for they too look to the light for strength. And one last thing. May you never forget the immense force of nature you are. With love and light, Odemi Pessu. So that is my author's note from my first book, which I honestly cannot believe I wrote this 4 years ago. Like, ChatGPT could never. But nah, for real, like, I think writing this book, it was also like alchemy because I had gone through grief. I lost my mentor during that time, lost a close family friend to gun violence in Atlanta. Like, I went through some heavy stuff like while writing this book, and I think was able to transmute that into this expression of love towards myself, towards my existence, and just also towards my higher self, my Oreo rune, which I've talked about in a past video. But Oreo rune is this concept of your higher self, your highest self, in Ifa. So yeah, my phone is about to die. I would love to go more into that, but let's see, it's been 33 minutes, which okay, not too bad, not too shabby. How many books have I written? This is my first and only book, but I am launching a digital magazine in October this year. And I am currently writing my second book, but it's going to be a lot thicker, my second book, because it's going to be a compilation of essays instead of poetry. And so it's taken a bit longer to write, but I'm okay with that. I just don't really believe in rushing work. But yeah, if you want to check it out. I did the cover art, so you can also buy that as a print. But like I said, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Waterstones, Booktopia, and other like indie smaller bookstores as well. But yeah, like, thank you so much to those of y'all who stuck around to read the book. And also, wait, before I go, let me show y'all something. I did this in the live earlier today, but I want to show you guys an art piece that I did that is available in my online art gallery. So She's Royal. Okay, the reflection was messing with it. She's Royal is a piece inspired by my book that I just read from, Force in Nature. And I'd say like it was like maybe 7 pieces that I created inspired by my book. And so She's Royal, this is size 24 by 36. It's a print. It's actually pretty popular when I do art shows. So yeah, this print, you can get it framed or unframed if you'd like. Thank you. It's satin, baby. How old are you? I'm guessing you're in high school because of our conversation earlier. But let me know. Let me know. I'm doing research. Okay, so yeah, this piece, She's Royal, I think embodies everything. Hold on, it's not showing my reflection. Hold on, I gotta maintain privacy. But yeah, She's Royal is a piece in my art gallery, and so is this painting here. Yeah. Oh, you're 12? Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, that's a great age. That's a really great age to be 12. Like, yeah, I remember when I was 12, I was going through it. But I wrote poems. Actually, some of the poems in my book I actually wrote when I was 12. I don't know if I can even find one. I literally like wrote, I mean, obviously I edited them when it came time to, write the book when I think I was 24 when I wrote this. But yeah, we're gonna revisit. We're gonna revisit. Gosh, I'm just like flipping through this and having flashbacks. All right, we're gonna revisit this in the next live. My phone is literally about to die, but before I go, don't forget to go to alarelifestyle.com, and I will be uploading these t-shirts with my artwork on them. Period. I will be adding those products very soon, but right now you can definitely buy my original artwork, prints like this and the one on the wall, and then also the leather bags I designed as well. All right, y'all, have a happy and blessed Saturday. Mwah. Will I be live tomorrow? I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna try to go live every day. I don't care who joins. I'm gonna go live, okay? And just see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna be back. Let's see. What time tomorrow? Definitely before 5. Definitely before 5. Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can find like an exact time every day, but I'm just not really good with schedules. Sorry, not sorry. Like, I don't know. If I say, oh, every day I'll come at 2 p.m., then if I miss one day, you guys will have my head. So I bet like, it's okay. But yeah, I'm going to be back tomorrow. But I hope to see you there. Yeah, it's not going to be at night. It's not going to be at night. It's going to be in the afternoon. Definitely in the afternoon. All right, it's Sutton, baby. Make sure you subscribe. I'm very happy to have you as part of this community. I think like being a preteen or a teenager, I don't know, that can be tough. So I feel like you can be a part of this community. You said you are from Afghanistan, but I can't, so you said it's night right now where you are. So I'm gonna assume you're still based in the Middle East, which makes me so happy that we have a global community. And check out that book, The Kite Runner, and tell me what you think about it as someone from there. And yeah, all right, it's gonna be in the afternoon, I promise. All right, bye y'all.